Everyone. Today we're going to go over how to navigate a Navisworks model inside of Autodesk Forma. A lot of times you'll get an NWD file, as they're called, and one of the benefits of that is that you can open it in Forma without having to have a specific license for Navisworks. So if you drag and drop that NWD file inside of Forma, inside of data management, it should appear here, whichever folder you drop it in. So I'm going to just open up this one. And in just a couple of seconds, it should open up. Now, if you first drop it in, it still says processing. Give it a few minutes. It's trying to process your NWD into a web-ready format. Once it's done processing, like mine is, it will still take a little bit to load up. Usually these NWD files are pretty hefty. And you can see my model has loaded up, and there you have it. So let's go over a couple of things first. So right here, you can see I'm in the orbit mode. This is my favorite mode in Forma. So with a left click of my mouse, you can kind of hover over a spot and then orbit around that spot. If I want to get really specific about what I want to orbit around, I can click on something and then hit orbit, and then it'll orbit around. Oh, I guess it doesn't do that one. I really thought it was going to do that. Let's try it from here. There we go. You have to set the pivot tool onto that one element. There you go. You can hit focus. It'll bring you into it. You can do a section plane onto that object. There you go. Okay, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So let's go back a smidge and let's talk about sectioning tools. Usually 3D models aren't very friendly to navigate, and most people want to be able to, at some point, be able to section. So Autodesk has a sectioning tool down here. You click on it and you can add a frame, or sorry, add a plane. So I'm going to go ahead and add a plane, and you can see red is for my right axis, green is for my front axis, and this dark blue is for my top axis. Anything that's cyan means that it's slightly sloped. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to click right here on that dark blue. Now I know that I'm flat. And I can grab this arrow. When it turns yellow, I click it, and I can drag it down or I can drag it up. It gives me a section there. So you're saying, well, Bowen, this is great, but what happens if I want to have a multiple cut thing going on? No fear, come over here to your sectioning tools and you hit add a plane right here. And now you have two planes. You're like, man, I really don't like those hatches there, Bowen. It's fine. You just click show hatches. If you don't like the big frame around it, you can turn that off. And now you've got something a little cleaner. So that's how you do that. If you want to pan, so we know how to orbit. If you want to pan, you right click. That lets you drag the model left, right, up, down. If you want to get closer to something, you can zoom in with your scroll mouse button, or scroll out to zoom out. If you're like, yeah, I really want to see this in a human perspective, though. There's a little human icon right here, brings you into first person. To walk, you can use your arrow keys or WASD. To go up and down, E's to go up, Q's to go down. You can run plus a direction key. You can double click somewhere, or you can look around. So let's try it. So there I am. I'm left clicking and dragging. And then I'm using W to move forward, S to move back, A left, D right. And then that's how you navigate in first person. Okay, cool. So that's how you do that. And then if you want to measure something, you don't have to be in first person to do this, but we're going to just take advantage that we are. Like the bottom of this duct, you come down here to the measure tool. If you use feet and fractional inches, you will have to click on this measure settings and change your unit type to feet and fractional inches. Their default is meters, and you click. So you can see we got an overall measure of 11 feet, 2.5 inches, and that's our hypotenuse, right? Those are just the exact distance between those 2 points. But if I want to see the elevation difference, that's measured here in Z, that's 10'7". The right-left difference is X, 1'2", and the front-back distance is 3'5.5". So you can see this kind of this little triangle up here. You can see those measurements a little bit better there. Anyway, you can put as many of these as you want everywhere. And then you can just click on the text again to see, the specific thing you were looking for. We've got a couple handy tools now on this. They've got a laser. So if you know exactly like from bottom of floor to there, you can just click. You can see that's 10.7 from those two. So that's nice. You can get angles. I really haven't done the angle one much. Not usually needed a whole lot, but click and then say to that, to the dumpster right there, to the dumpster. That's 36.2 degrees. You can get a spot coordinate here and that'll give you some elevation points. That's kind of nice. You can take a surface area here. So that'll give you all this, let's see. There you go, total area of that wall. And then of course, shortest distance. So from here to there, shortest distance is 511. Really great for clearances. So hit done. All my measurements go away. If I click measure again, they all show back up. So that's kind of nice. What else? What else? There's some settings. Well, no, properties. Let's do properties first. So if I come over here and I click on a pipe and I want to see what its properties are, I can click on properties. Brings up a new window. There's a mini map here. I don't much love the mini map. I thought there was a way to get rid of it. Oh well. Let's try that. So you can see all the properties of the element we just picked. There is also a browser tree under model browser. So if you want to, for example, turn off everything that's architectural, we have our models named so they're kind of easy to understand what's going on. So you can turn off everything architectural. You can turn off fire protection, framing grids, ceilings, all the structural, right? And then that lets you kind of isolate the things that you're looking for. You can see they've ghosted them here in the background. If you really don't want ghosts, you can come here to settings. And then I think it's here under display ghost hidden objects. You can turn those off. You can see they just disappear. If you have a nice beefy computer, you can change your frame rate to 60. You can see it's a little smoother, so that's nice. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Display units, again, feet and fractional inches. You can change your selection mode so that you're selecting different things, right? That'll give you different properties when you select on something. So first object's probably not a bad, oh, not first object, last object's probably not a bad leaf object. Wow. I guess all these are kind of 6, 1, half a dozen of the other. You kind of have to play with these depending on how each of the models are set up. But if it's not giving you the properties you need, probably have to come and play with the selection mode down here. And that's pretty much it for Forma. So you do that, you should be a Forma genius. Let's talk about Navisworks. So like, let's say you do want to open this in Navisworks. You can download this and come over here and type Navisworks Freedom download. And Autodesk has a free Navisworks viewer that you can download right here. You install it. I don't have Freedom downloaded because it's just a viewer. I actually have Manage, but they function the same way. So let's go ahead and here, sorry. You'll open Navisworks. It looks like this. You hit open and then you come over here to downloads, click on your file. Notice this is the same model. You have the same selection tree over here. If this doesn't appear, it's under Home, Select and Search Selection Tree. That won't appear either. You'll have Properties, and if Properties don't show up, it's under Home, Display Properties. And they should show up as tabs over here. If the tabs keep on disappearing on you, which they will, there's a little pin icon up here, and then that pins them next to each other. So I can click on something, and that tells me this is raked plaster, it's a basic wall, 6 7/8, all that good stuff. And you can see where it lives inside of that model tree over here too. Level 1, walls, basic wall, exterior framing, sheathing, etc. Okay, so we're all caught up there. Great. let's go over the navigation things in Navisworks. So Navisworks has two basic ways to navigate. So you can hit Control 1, and this is kind of your zoom in, zoom out thing that we were doing before. Or you can do Control 2, which is your first person where you click your left mouse button and you drag, and it moves you that way. So let's go see how that works. So you can do this one, Control 2, forward, backwards, left and right is actually orbit, and then I'm trying to remember. Yeah, you kind of have to like use the scroll mouse button to orient where your head is, and then you can move forward. It's kind of more like flying. If you hold down the scroll button and then you pull your mouse down, it'll move you down. If you move it up, it'll move you up. To the left moves you left. To the right moves you right. Some people really love this. It's not my favorite. A lot of people that are big video gamers find it more intuitive. I don't. So like right here, I'm clicking on my left mouse button, moving my mouse up on the screen, and I don't need to keep on moving it up. It's just from wherever I started. So if I click here and then I just move it a little bit up, that's my speed. If I want to go really fast, I move it higher. You see how it keeps it constant? So some people really like this. I'm not the biggest fan. Control 1 gives you pan orbit, which is my favorite. So if I want to orbit around something, I click on it, hold down the shift button, hold down scroll, and then I drag my mouse left and right, and it lets me pivot around that. I love pivoting. Zoom in and zoom out is with the scroll button. Um, to pan, you hold down the scroll button, move left, right, up, down, and that's it. So then I just find that it's easier because then I can zoom out, I can pivot around whatever I want. If I don't like where I'm pivoting, I can pivot around something else that I select. Anyway, I really love this. Okay, sectioning. You go to viewpoint, and then here at the very end, there's a sectioning, enable sectioning. And I was explaining this to somebody earlier this week. What you want to do is here under the plane settings, think of these as kitchen knives. So you have 6 knives, and you can decide which ones you want turned on. And so right now I'm going to just keep one plane on, and you can set it to be top, bottom, front, back, left. And some people are really good at this. I'm kind of a baby. And so what I like to do is there is an option here at the bottom, second to last, it says align to surface. So I can click on that and I just click on whatever I want to section and I'm done. And I kind of like that a lot. So going back to our hybrid sectioning thing, I just come back here to the kitchen knives, right? I turn on another plane. I have to select it to then choose what it's cutting against. You can see it's cutting the bottom, so I'm going to hit align to surface, and I'm going to pull this back over here. There you go. So what happens a lot in Navisworks is that you'll be zooming in, and uh-oh, sutalor, you have lost the gizmo, the little drag thing. And so now what are you going to do? Well, you unclick move, and then you click it again. And that didn't quite work, but here, let's try it with a different plane, like right here, plane 1, nowhere to be seen. Unclick, click, and you see it brings it here within my view. So then I can do that. So if you ever lose the gizmo, that's a good way to bring it back. Another thing that you can do is just click an element and then hit fit selection, and it moves all of the planes that you have turned on to that. So like if I just hit plane 2, I can just come here and I hit fit selection, and it's going to just section based off of where the plane is and the extent of that element relative to that plane. I don't know if that makes any sense, but let's do a couple more examples. Fit selection, there you go. This guy, fit selection, there you go. So that's how that works. Great. So let's go to the review tab. There's a measure tool here. And you can lock this in the x-axis, y or z-axis before you measure anything. So if you already know you want to do a z-axis measurement, you can just click, and there you have it. If you're not sure that that's what you want, you can just click nilly-willy, and it gives you that same triangle that we were seeing in Forma. You can hit clear. You can convert it to a markup, and it saves it as a viewpoint over here, which is nice. So you can go back and reference it later on. I think that's pretty much all that you can do here. If you do want to hide things like we did on the other one, you're like, man, I don't want to see the architectural model anymore. You can click it here in the selection tree and hit hide. For that matter, if you hit Control 1, because maybe the tools aren't working for you, hit Control 1, that gives you your select tool back. Click on something. You just don't want that specific thing there. Control H. Control H. There you go. Now you can see through it. If you're like, man, I just wish it was kind of transparent, you can click on something like this right here, like this column, like this duct. There we go. Right click, override transparency. Let's say 50%. Boom, it's transparent. Someone's like, oh, there's a lot of pink duct. Can you tell me which duct you want? Override color, purple. Done. It's the purple one, Doug. Doug. Oh, I see. Now sometimes things come up of like, oh shoot, like I've got this fire sprinkler line right here, and I just want to move it up a little bit. So you can click on the line, you come to Item Tools, which is a menu that automatically opens up here, and you can hit Move. And it gives you a little gizmo here to drag that one element. And if you click on the transform here, it tells you how much you've raised it. So you've raised it 1 inch and 3/4. And you're like, oh yeah, that'd clear it. And there you go. There you have it. You can rotate it as well. I don't know if you can really see this, but there's like a nice little semicircle there. It's a little bit better. And you can grab that and rotate it. You're like, yeah, all we need to do is just rotate it real quick. Grab move it over. And you're like, oh shoot, that's not what we wanted to do at all. You just come here to the reset transform button. Boom, everything's back in place. And you can actually do that at a whole model scale. You can just come back here, grab the whole thing, reset transform. So that's how you use Navisworks. Anyway, hope you found this instructive. Till next time.